This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last class, we have started seeing of your module pool programming. So it's a special type of a program where we will design screen and we will write the corresponding logic for that. So in reports and everywhere, the screen design will be taken care by your SAP itself. But coming to your module pool programming, it's your responsibility to go ahead and design the screen however you want. So mostly this module pool programming we will be using in all the product based companies as well as the warehouse management side. So the warehouse, if I want to count the inventory or if I want to calculate any other details in respect to the warehouses, so in those cases mostly we will be using this module pool programming in our real time. So in order to create a module pool programming, the transaction code is SE80. So whenever we want to execute the module pool program, so we can't directly execute them. We have to do that with the help of your transaction code. That means without creating a transaction code, we can't able to execute your module pool programming. So so in the module pool programming, we will be designing the screens. We'll be designing the screen. For every screen, we will be having 4 different events. One is PBO, one is PAI, one is POV, and one is POH. So PBO is nothing but process before output. PAI is nothing but process after input. POV is equal to process on value request, and POH is equal to process on help request. So 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 the logic has to be written in these events only. For every event what you are writing, so this is how. So the first one is PBO will be triggered and the input and the selection screen will be shown up, and after that the PAI will be gets triggered. After this PAI, so what action you are going to perform on the input, so then the PI will trigger. The PAI will call the PBO, and the logic for displaying of the output will be written in the PBO. And then in the output, so what action you have performing. So it will goes to either PBO or it will directly goes to here. So it will show you your selection screen. So this is what the logic is. Now, in order to write the logic for your screen, you can't able to directly write down inside your screen. To write the logic inside your screen, we have to written the logic in the form of modules, and that's called as the modules. For every event we have to write a module. In that module we are going to write your ABAP logic. So that's why we will be calling this as your module pool programming. So whenever we create a module pool programming, we will be having 4 includes as discussed earlier. And remember that the module pool program cannot be executed in the background job because the screen functionality we can't able to determine in the background. So that's the main reason we can't able to execute that. So to design a screen, so as I told you, what are the components of your screen? Attributes, and then the element list, and then the flow logic as well as the module in your layout. So the module in your layout, so or the flow logic. So now how to create this? Just give me 1 minute, guys.
This conference will now be recorded.
So let's see how can we work with as we have seen how to create a transaction code for a module pool program in your yesterday's class. And now let's see uh, so let's see, for example, my requirement is I will be providing the sales order number, and for the sales order number when I click on create get data, so these fields has to be filled automatically. These fields has to be filled automatically. How can you get that one? That is what I'm going to teach you right now. So let me log on to my SAP system. So I'm going to, so in order to create a module pool program, what is the transaction code? So we have to go to the transaction code SE80. So once you enter into the SEAT transaction code, so you have to create your module pool program. I'm just going to create the module pool program 1. So I'm just going to say this as 1. I'll just go ahead and click on create. So with the top include, I'll just copy the same name. I'll just click on enter. I'll give you the top include name with the same name. And here I'll be changing that here as ZN. So now just say click on continue. It will show you the module pool program, provide your package as well as your TR. So once you provide your TR, so you will be able to see your program. So now what I need to do, I'll need to go ahead and change this one, and I need to go ahead and create these include programs. So you have to create this one. So Control S, F3, and then I01 is also I'm just creating. Control S, F3, and even F01 is also I'm just creating that one. Control S and F3. So once it is done, so right click and click on create a screen. So that's what I'm going to do it. So 9000, I'll just say this as normal screen, and then my flow logic. So I'll just go ahead and create this modules. So now the status is at O01. I have to implement. I'll just going to implement in O01. And then I'll go ahead and implement my user command in my I01. So that's it. Once you have done this, right click over here, just go to display mode, right click over here and activate the program. So for this, what I need to do, I just need to go ahead and create a transaction code. I'll just say this has 1. I'll just go ahead and click on create MPP1 7 a.m. I'll take this as program and screen. So we have a screen and we have your program. So I'm just going to provide those two details, and then I'll just say click on continue. Here I'll be providing my program name. So this is what the program name is. I'll just copy this one. I'll be going and pasting it over here. What is my screen number? My first screen number is 9000. I'll be selecting all the GUIs, and then I'll just click on save by providing my package. So that's it. Now when I go ahead and execute this when I go ahead and execute this transaction code, you can able to see your screen. But you didn't design your screen. See, when you're designing your screen, everything, the save button, the back button, everything, the PF status, which we have seen in your interactive reporting, you have to create that PF status on your own. You have to create your PF status on your own. It's your responsibility to create that PF status. We are not going to, I mean, SAP is not going to derive that. It's your responsibility because you are designing everything, the screen, everything. We are designing it over here. So now let me go to my program. So what is my requirement? My requirement is, so I want the sales order number to be as an input field. So when the user has provided the sales order number, and when they just select get the data, it has to showcase those details over here. It has to showcase those details over here. Okay, it has to showcase those details. So now what I need to do for the very first time, what is your details? You just need to go ahead and create a types declaration for that. So now I'm going to create my types declaration. So types begin of gty underscore your final, and I'm going to have my VBELN type VBELN underscore VA ERNAM type ERNAM, and then ERDAT type ERDAT ERDAT. What are the other fields I do have? VKORG VKORG type VKORG VTWEG type VTWEG, and then SPART type, SPART, and end of GTY underscore your final. Why I'm going to create this structure? So you can, so you have to provide a linkage between the program and whatever the values you are going to provide in your screen. So the program and whatever the values, you can create your individual fields also, but I'm going to create with the help of my structure. Now I'm just going to create with my data declarations. Data declarations, I'm just going to say data gs underscore final type gty underscore my final, because I want only one single record to be gets populated. I don't want any other details. Now control S. So I'm just going to activate this one, and now what I will do, I'll go to my screen 9000. Once I go into my screen 9000, so in order to design your screen, you need to click on your layout button. So layout is a place where we will go ahead and design the screen how we want. How we want. And now what is my thing? I want my details to be shown up. So individual fields. So in order to get the fields that are there, that are available in your program, you have to select this program fields. You have to select this button program fields, and then you need to select get from the program. Now you can see here, you can find out all your field names. Whatever the data declarations you have done at your global level, those will come up over here automatically. Those will come up over here automatically. So when I say click on enter, this is my sales order number. So this is a place where you have to provide your sales order number. So now for this, I want to create a text. So I'll just go ahead and click on this text button, and you can just provide the text button. So here you have to provide your text. So I'm just going to say sales order. So now what is the name of your text? The sales order number. The sales order number. So as the size is not going to be sufficient, you can go ahead and increase the size like this. So now you can just change this to your number. So that's it. Now once you have done this, so you can just go ahead and remove this one. So this, for this entire details, you can find out the properties over here. You can find out the properties over here. If I want to add a conversion, you can just say alpha conversion exit. So it will convert automatically the internal into the external to internal and internal to external. If I want to assign any search help, you can assign it. If I want to assign the parameter ID, you can just assign that parameter ID also. You can just assign your parameter ID. So now this is what I've just provided the conversion exit as of now. So now what I will do, I'll just go ahead and activate the screen. So for this, in order to get activated, you have to close this one. So now the objects got activated. Now when I go ahead and refresh the transaction, see here, you can find out your sales order number. You can find out your sales order number. So next, what is the next one? So this is the push button. So you are selecting the button. So we have to create a push button in our program. So what I am going to do, I'm just going to my layout. In this buttons, you will be having the push buttons. So now I'll just go ahead and click on my push button. I'll just provide the button name. So now double click on this. You have to provide the name of the button. So I'll just saying this as get data, sorry, data, and you need to provide the text for this, which will populate in your this thing. For every push button, we need to provide an function code. So what you have selected, how how the system knows, what you have selected. So that's called as your function code. So that function code you have to provide it. So I'm going to say this as your get. So now when I click on this, the function code will be gets trigger. When I click on this, the function code will be gets trigger. So I'm just closing this one. Now the next remaining 5 fields, I'm going to get it. So if you want, you can select all those 5 fields at one single shot, or if you want, you can select individual. So I'm just going to select ERNAM. So here my ERNAM. So I'm just want my created name to be gets populated, or you can just select this one and you can change, you can adjust the position. Okay, you can just adjust the position. I'm going to take this as created name, created by. So I'm just going to take this one. Now I'll be just providing this one. And now what is your next field? So I want ERDAT, which is nothing but your created date. Or else you can directly write like here also, created on. So now I'll just do a little bit closer over here. And what is my next field? I want, I'll just ping all these 3 fields in one single shot. VKORG, VTWEG, and SPART. So this is what I want. So I'll just say sales org, sales organization, and then this one I'll just take this as distribution channel. And the next one is your division. So this is what. So now I'm going to take this as division. So that's it. Now I'll just go ahead and save this one, close this one. I'll activate my screen. I'll activate my screen, and now I'll come here, and when I refresh this, see here, you can able to see all your screen that how you want, how the user has asked, you can able to see that one. Okay. So so this is what you are thinking. Now when I click on get data, so here this is, so now the transaction you are executing, once you are executing the transaction, what SAP will trigger, it will trigger your PBO logic. It will trigger your PBO logic, and it will come to your input screen where you have to provide your values. And once you provide your values, so once I click on get data, so that means you are just providing your input. So where I need to write my logic, I need to write the logic in your PAI. So when the function code is equal to get, or else I'll just go ahead and keep my breakpoint in my I01. So I'll just go ahead and keep my breakpoint over here. Now I'll save it. I'll activate this one. Now I'll come back and I'll just say execute this one. See here, I got the details 1, 2, 3, 4. When I click on get data, see my debugger has been started. At the starting itself, it will go ahead and execute your I01. Now what you have selected, your get. How can you know which way, which action you have performed with the help of your SAI UCOM? See here, the SAI UCOM will tell us what action that has been performed by your user. So I have provided, I have created a I have selected the SciUcom as your get. So now when I click on this get, I need to get the details from my, so now where is my data? My data will be available in gs underscore final hyphen VBELN. In this, you got your data. See here, it has added your predefined zeros. Why it has added? You have provided your conversion routine alpha. When I go to my system, and if I go to my screen layout, I'll just go to my layout. So let me remove the conversion exit alpha for you. And then now let me close this, and I'll also close this one. So now I'll just activate my program. So let me also try to activate it over here to see everything got activated. Yes. Now I'll just execute this one. I'll go ahead and refresh my transaction one more time. If I go to take 1 2 3 4 5 and I click on get data, and now see here, when I provided this, it is will be 1 2 3 4 5. Either you can write your conversion exit over here, or you can go ahead and implement the conversion exit over there. So you know it how to write your conversion exit over here. Either you can do it over here, or you can do it directly at your screen level by providing your conversion exit. Now this is the place where I need to write my ABAP logic. In my I01, I'll just say get, so perform, I'll just say get underscore data using gs underscore final. Using gs underscore final, I'll just display this one. Click on yes. I'm going to F01 for my subroutines. I'll just say click on yes. Now here, which is of type gs underscore final. So now I just need to say select VBELN ERDAT. So this is the first field, right? Sorry, ERNAM and then ERDAT. ERNAM, ERDAT, VKORG, VTWEG, and SPART from VBAK into at the rate P underscore GS underscore final, P underscore GS underscore final, where VBELN is equal to at the rate P underscore GS underscore final, P underscore GS underscore final hyphen VBELN. So that's it. Now do your pretty printer, select single. So do your pretty printer, and let's get activate my code. So I01 and F01, I'm just activating it. Sorry. Activate. So I'll just right click over here and I'll try to activate this one. So when I just say activate this one, see here it's got activated. Now what I will do, I'll just refresh my transaction code. So let me get some data from SE11, sorry, SE16, and I'll just providing VBAK table. I'll just click on execute. Now what I will do, I'll be just getting some data. Let's say I'm going to provide it as 10. So now 10 I'm going to provide it. When I say click on get data, see here my debugger has been selected. It will go inside this. See my size of bars is equal to 4. Why? Because it has not done your conversion exit. It has not done your conversion exit. Either you can go ahead and write your conversion exit over here. So what I will say, gs and sorry, p underscore gs underscore final hyphen VBELN is equal to, I'll just say P underscore GS underscore final alpha is equal to in. Alpha is equal to in. Now I'll do my pretty printer. I'll just activate my ABAP code. Okay, sorry, hyphen VBELN. So I'll activate my code. So once you have done your activating of your code, so now it's time. So let's go ahead and see that one. So now I'll just go ahead and refresh my transaction. I'll be providing the 10. I'll just say click on get data. Now if I go here F5, now it will convert the value into internal format and it will able to get the data. Once this is completed, see here, it will go to your PBO to see any logic with available in PBO. I don't have any logic, but see, the data has been populated successfully. The data has been populated successfully, but see here, it has added your leading zeros. But I don't want that leading zeros to be come up. So what I will do, I'll go to my PBO. I'll go to my PBO. Here, what I will do, I'll just say GS underscore final hyphen VBELN is equal to, I'll just write GS underscore final hyphen VBELN alpha is equal to your out. Your out. So if I don't want these two things to be done, right click, activate. Right click and activate. Now what I will do, I'll just go ahead and execute this one again. I'll just say click on get data, and now when I say F8, why it's not working? I didn't activate this. Alpha equal to out. Get data F5, 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 F5. I'll go to here. So no, it's not activated. O01 is not activated. So either I need to refresh the transaction again. So right click over here, just click on activate, add to object generated. Okay. So it has to be activated from here, but it has not done your activation. So that's the reason it's not showing your code. So now let me go ahead and refresh this one more time. So I'm just going to provide the 10. I'll just say get data. I'll just click on execute. Now see here, the same value has been populated. The same value has been populated. So this is how you can provide. Or if I don't want to write down these two lines of code, I'll just remove this over here. In my I01 also, I'll just remove this over here. I'll just remove this. Now I'll go to my screen level. I'll just go to my layout. I'll go to my sales order number. I'll be providing the conversion exit alpha. Alpha, close this, and activate. I'm just going to activate this one, I01 and F012. So now I'll go to my change mode. I'll try to activate one more time from globally to see if there are anything. No. So now what I will do, I'll just go ahead and provide this. I'll just provide the transaction code 10. I'll just say click on get data. Now automatically, if you see here, my GS underscore final will be converted. You didn't do any conversions. It has done automatically. So now in my PBO, I don't have anything, but when I say F8, see here, automatically the conversion will be taken care by SAP itself. By conversion will be taken care by your SAP itself. Now, once this data has been came up, user has an option to change this data and everything. To change this data and everything, user has an option, right? But I don't want the user to be gets changed this. That means I want these values to be gets gray out. In order to do that, go to your again to your screen level and go to your layout and just select the field, and in the display say this as your see here, remove the input field. See, it has removed your input. So you can't able to provide your input. It's only an output field. If I select this as output field, this will only work for your output field. Now do the same other things for all your things. Output field only. See, automatically everything will be work. So now select this one and I'll just go ahead and change this one to output only. And this one also is the same. I want to do it. And this one also the same. I want to do it. So once you have done this one, and now I'll just go ahead and activate my code by closing this one. I forgot to close this one. So I just need to close this one before activating it. Now it's got activated. Right click over here and just activate one more time at the global level. So now when I go ahead and execute the transaction, F8, see, automatically see the output fields has been removed and it will just show your output. So if I want that boxes to be come up, so then what I need to do, you just need to remove your output field, and that's it. So just remove your output field, that's it. You just remove your output field. Output. So now I'll close this one, I'll activate this one. So now when I refresh this transaction code again, see here you can able to see that when I say F8 and click on get data and I'll just say F8, you can able to see the data in that particular boxes. So the boxes you can able to see that one. So this is how you have to work with your get data. Get data and you have to fill this. And now I want this F4 to be gets populated. I want the F4 or F1. So when I say F1, so it is coming from the standard documentation. So I don't want the standard documentation to be come up. I want my custom documentation. In order to get that, you need to say process process on help request. Process on help request, and then you need to say you need to go ahead and determine your code. So process on help request. So what I'm going to do, I'll just go ahead and pass. It's been long time guys, so I'm also referring it one more time, sorry for that. Yeah, so process on value request and then process on help request. So you have to provide, one second guys. Yeah, sorry guys. So process on help request. So when you're working with your process on help request and process on value request, you have to provide what is for which field you are going to create your help request and value request. So you have to provide that field name. So I just want to provide my field name. So when I want to provide my field name, so now I'm just going to provide my field name. GS underscore final hyphen VBELN is my field name. And then you need to define your module, and you need to say VBELN underscore your F1. So I'm just going to provide this one. Now double click on this one, double click on this one. So on where you want to provide this module is what you have to define, my system got hang. So let me restart again. Now I'm just going to this type. So before that, I'll just directly go to my screen level. So now I'll just go ahead and say process on help request for. So value request is for your F4 and help request. So what is the field? What is your field name? GS underscore final hyphen your VBELN, and then you need to define your module, and I'm just going to say module name. So field name and module name is what you have to provide. So now double click on this one. System one. Sorry, here I need to double click on this, and now just say click on yes. I'm just going to have in F01 because this is a different one. So I'm just going with my F01 directly. Now here I'll just write whatever the ABAP logic I want. Message, I'll just say kindly provide the sales order number, or provide the sales order number and I'll just say this as type information message. So that's it. Do your pretty printer, and now I'll just go ahead and activate both the screen as well as your program. Now right click over here, I'll just activate from the base level, and now what I will do, I'll just go ahead and say /o, and now if I select F1, see here, provide the sales order number, provide your sales order number. Now I want my F4 help to be populated. I want my F4 help. For the standard, if I want the F4 help to be gets populated, so what I need to do, I'll just go to my program level. I'll just go to my screen level. I'll just go to my layout. I'll do my pretty printer. I'll just go to my layout. And now what I will do, I'll just select this one. Here you have to provide your search help. So what I will do, I'll go to my /o SE11. I'll go to my VBELN underscore VA. I'll just select, click on display. I'll go to my further characteristics. So I'm just going to assign my parameter ID AU. AUN is my parameter ID. I don't have any search help over here. I don't have any search help. So I'll go back to my VBAK table. I'll just say click on display. I'll select this one. I'll see if there is any search help. So we don't have any search help. Go to entry/help check. So here from VBUK, it is going to get your search help. So if you don't have any search help, you go ahead and create a search help in SE11. So I'm just going to create a search help for Z VBELN ZSH underscore VBELN underscore VA. I'll just say click on create. I want elementary search help. So sales order number search help. Sales order number search help. Now I'll go to my selection method. So what is my table? VBAK is my table. What is my parameter ID? What is my parameter ID? So I want VBLN. This is my importing, exporting, and I want to provide my list position as well as my selection position. And then I'll just say VKORG, importing and exporting, list position and selection position. And then so that's it. I'll just go ahead and click on activate by providing my transaction code as well, by providing my package as well as the TR. Now copy this search help and provide your search help over here. Now just close this one, and now what I will do, close this one. I'll just save this one. Now see here, a search help will be assigned over here. Now close this one. I'll just activate my program. I'll just activate my program. I'll also try to activate at the main program level. It's got activated. Now what I will do, I'll just do a refresh over here. I'll just do a refresh over here. Now see here, F4 help has been identified. And now when I select this one, automatically the details will come up. Automatically the details will come up. Now, if I want the F4 to be gets populated from your program, if I want, that means I want to open my computer from my program where I want to attach a file. So in that case, what I will do, I'll go to my types declaration. I'll go to my top level. So I will just create a variable gv underscore file upload type. I'll just take this as my string. I'll just take this as my string. Now, once you have done this one, just do your pretty printer, just save this one. Now I'll go to my screen level. I'll go to my layout. I'll just the details, get the details from your program. So you can able to, sorry, I need to activate the top declaration, then only those details will come up. So I'll just go ahead and activate that one. So now I'll go to my layout. Now import from program, get from your program. See here, now you can able to see your GV upload. So if you want to see the details over here, it has to be, it must be in the activated state. It must be in your activated state. Now select this and click on continue. I'll just going to provide it over here. Okay. So I'll just take the get data button over here. And this one, I'll be taking this as your string, your upload file. Upload. I'm going to take this as upload. Upload file. Upload file. So now for this, I want to provide an F4 help. If you want, you can reduce the size of this one. I'm just going to reduce the size. I don't want to increase the size. I just want to reduce it. Now I'll just save this one. I'll close this one. I'll activate this one. Now this for this one, I want to have my my F4. So copy this one. So now go ahead and re-execute the transaction. I want my F4 to be gets populated. So see here we don't have any F4. So for this, what I will do, I'll go to my screen level. I'll just say process on value request for what is your field name. The field, what is your field name? This is my field name, module upload underscore F4. Upload underscore F4. I'm just going to determine that one. Do your pretty printer. Now let's go ahead and select this one. Just say F4 on in your F01 I want it. And now just say click on yes. So I'll just write message uh, coding in progress, coding in progress for F4, and I'm going to take this as type information message. Now I'll just activate this one by activating my program as well as my Dyne Pro. My program as well as my Dyne Pro, I'm just going to activate. Now if I come here, when I just did, do your refresh, see, you can able to see an F4. When I just select the F4, see here, coding in progress for your F4. So here what you need to use, F4 underscore file name is the function module you have to use in order to open the computer. Not to open your my computer, you have to use F4 underscore file name, which we have seen at selection screen on value request for. Okay. Now, Now let's see how can you do a validations on your data. So if I just provide some wrong data, when I click on get data, it has to show me the data is an invalid. The data is an invalid. How can you do that one? How can you do that one? So you can able to do that in I01. Before we, when the user click on enter, it has to shown up. It has to shown up. It has to shown up when the user also click on your enter. So now how can you do that one? So here I did one wrong thing. User command. So here I need to write case on SciUcom when get, and that's the one. So now end the case. So now I'll do my pretty printer. So because it has to perform only on your get, it should not perform while we selecting enter. It should not perform while we selecting enter. So that's what it's happening currently. When I just select the enter, it's going inside, and see here it is coming, it is getting the data. Previously when I select this as 10, it is getting the data. Right now it will not get your data. So it will only get the data when I select the get data button. When I select the get data button, then only it will do that. Now if I provided a wrong value over here, it has to show me an issue. It has to show me an issue stating that you have selected a wrong button. So in order to do the validations on your field, in order to do the validations on your field, you need to write the code. After your input, you have to select your what on which field you want to do your validation. On which field you want to do your validation. For this, what I'm going to do, I'll just go to my screen level. After your input, I want to do a validation. Field, what is my field name? GS underscore final hyphen VBELN, and then module validate 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 underscore VBELN. So this is what. Now I am going to create this module. So now where I need to write this logic, as I need to write that in I01 itself. I'm just going to write in my I01. So I'm just going to say select single VBELN. So I'm just going to write like this also. If VBELN, sorry, GS underscore VBELN, sorry, GS underscore final hyphen VBELN is initial, then I'm going to say message, so pass the sales order number. So I'm going to make this as mandatory, type I. So this is the one. So now when I say pretty printer, I'll just go ahead and activate my code. So in the same way, I'll just come here and I'll try to activate from the global level. And now see here, when I refresh this transaction code, if I didn't pass any data, when I click on get data, see here, pass the sales order number. This is one way of writing your ABAP logic, one way of making the field as your mandatory. There is another way for making the field as mandatory. Go to your screen level, go to your layout and go select the properties of your field. Under your program, make the input field as required. See here, now you can get a question mark. So you will be considering that as your, it will consider that as your mandatory field. Now close this one. I'll just activate this one. So right click over here and then activate. Now let's go ahead and run this one. Now see here, it has make you the field as your mandatory. It has make you the field as, when I click on get data, see here, fill up all the required entry fields. Fill up all the required entry fields. Now I want to validate my data. So I'll just go ahead and do this one. I'll just remove this one. I'll just say select hyphen your VBELN. Do your pretty printer. Now let me click on the check button. Sorry, GS underscore final. Check. Sorry. Yeah, that's it. Now, if size bar C is not equal to 0, then I need to say message invalid sales order, invalid sales order, type error, type error. So this is what. Now do your pretty printer and let's activate the code. And now I'll also do an activation from here. I'll also do an activation from here. And now what I will do, I'll just try to refresh my transaction code. Refresh my transaction code. Now I'll just pass some dummy sales order number. When I click on get data, See here, invalid sales order number, and it has make the other fields also gray out. This is equal to at selection screen on field. So at selection screen on particular field. So on your particular field, you are just doing your thing. So the remaining fields will go into your gray out. Now, I don't want the other fields to be gets into your gray out. So that for that we need to do at selection screen. So at selection screen on field, at selection screen. So now how can you do that at selection screen? For this, we need to write your chain operator. For this, we need to write your chain operator. It's a keyword which is used to validate multiple fields. You have to use the chain operator. So I'm just going to say, I'll just go here. I'll just cut this one and I'll just say chain, and then I'll be writing your end chain, end chain, end chain. In between this, I'll just say field. What is my field name? GS underscore final hyphen VBELN. Then I'll just say what are the other fields. If you want to do it for your other fields, you can also do for your other fields. So I'll just go ahead and say this one as, so on GS underscore GV underscore. So what is that? So GV underscore your upload. GV underscore your upload, and then you will write your module, and then you will be writing your module name. So whatever the module, and then I'll just say validate input fields. Validate input fields. Input. So now I'll just go ahead and determine this one. Yes, I'll go to my I01 after this. I01 is the one. And now I'll just say click on yes. Now I'll just go ahead and write like this one. The logic, I'll just paste it over here. And now I'll do my pretty printer. I'll just go ahead and activate the ABAP code. As I have already uses your inline declaration, so it's not allowing me to use one more time. That's fine. So now just click on check. I'll just go ahead and activate my ABAP code. So right click over here, try to activate from the global level. So now when I just go here and refresh the transaction, if I pass some dummy, see here, it will just show you the invalid sales order number. The other one will be remain as it is. The other one will remain as is. So this is how you need to work with your multiple field validation, so that the other fields will not go into your gray out. Only the field which you have populated, it will go to your red color, and it will show you your error. So this is similar to like as your at selection screen. At selection screen. So clear with this, guys? Any questions? Okay, I'll be considering it as no questions. Now, how to use your checkboxes? So the remaining concepts that are available in the module pool programming are how to use the checkboxes, and how to use the radio button, then how to work with the tab strips, and how to work with the table control. How to work with the table control. These are only the 4 remaining pending topics that are available in your module pool programming. So this we will be checking in your tomorrow's session. So tomorrow also you have your session at the same time, 7 o'clock. to 8:30 or 9 o'clock I'll be continuing the session. So try to do this one, and the module pool programming which I have attached, you go ahead and do the requirement. Okay, so my requirement, so I'll just write down the assignment and I'll stop the day. Paint, paint. So now my requirement is my requirement. So I want a screen, one screen I needed. So it will just say the employee details. So what you have created the table, the employee details table. So this is my heading, employee portal, or I will say this as employee creation slash updation portal. I want this one, updation portal, updating portal. So here I want three buttons. One is your create, one is your update, and one is your create, and one is your update, and one is your delete. One is your delete. So now here it is a create, and this is your update, and this is your delete. So this is your first screen. I didn't tell you about the screen navigation. You go ahead and find out how can you work with your screen navigation, how to call the next screen. When I just click on create, it has to open a separate screen. So my assignment. So let me go to my assignment. So assignment 22. Now I need to create an application for the employee portal. Employee portal. So the first screen one. So that means when you execute the transaction, this screen has to get populate. This screen has to get populate. I don't have any copy button over here. Yeah, copy screen one. So now when the user click on create, when the user click on create, so so it has to open the system has to navigate to the next screen, to the next screen where it has to show, it has to show the following details. The following details. What are those details? So I'll just go here. Okay, why it's not working? Yeah. So the name must be the same, employee creation slash updation portal. So it has shown me the details. So what are those details? I want the employee number, employee first name, employee last name, employee last name, and then I want the date of joining, when he's joining, the date of joining, and then or else you go to your employee table. What are the details that are available on your employee table? Again, it got removed. So employee details, I want the employee ID, employee first name, employee last name, employee gender, employee designation, all these fields to be gets populated. So all these fields to be gets populated. So what are those? Employee ID, employee ID and the employee ID number, and then employee first name, and here I want the employee first name to be gets populated, and then employee last name, and here the employee last name details has to be gets, you have to pass the values, and the next one is the employee gender, and I want the employee gender to be gets populated, and the next one is what is my next one after this employee gender? Employee designation, employee designation. So the value of your employee designation has to be come up, and the next one is your employee mobile number and employee email ID. Employee mobile number, and this one is your employee mobile number, and then employee email ID. So now I'll just go ahead and provide this one. Now for this, so for employee email ID, the next running number has to be populated from your screen. The next running number, the next running number has to auto populate, has to auto populate. So that means you should not pass the value, and make this as make this as uh, make this as output only, make this as output only, it should not provide that one. Okay, so this is the first one. The next one, so for this employee gender I need an F4 help, so which automatically has to be come up, and I also need an F4 help for these two things. Okay, and I need a save button. I need a save button. When they click on this save, it has to save the data in the database. It has to save the data at your database. So this is what the create screen is. So clear with this? So now I'll just go here, copy this one. I'll be just pasting that over in your assignment window. Okay. So now when the user click on update, when the user clicks on update, so now it has to open the same screen, it has to open your same screen, but it should not show these values, it should not show these values at all. So this must be okay. Okay, so this must be in a transparent. So here the user can able to pass the employee. For this I need an F4. For this I need an F4. So now F4 has to be come up. Now when I click on F4, it has to show me the list of all the employees, and the validations has to be done. So all the validations has to be done, and here I need an update button. An update button. The same way update, or I need a save button. The screen will be the same, but over there, instead of create and update, it must be changing. Okay, so use the same screen and try to manipulate the data. Whether it's a create, so it has to come your automatic sequence. Whether it's an update, so they have to provide the number. So that's what you have to do it when you are writing your ABAP code. Okay, so now the same screen for your update too. So I'll just take a copy of this. I'll be pasting it over here. Sorry, on your assignment. Okay. Now, when the user clicks on delete button, the screen must be the same, but these fields must be your gray out. These fields must be your gray out. All these fields must be your gray out. All these fields must be your gray out. All these fields, all the fields must be gray out, except your employee ID. Employee ID. Except the employee ID, every other fields must be your gray out. Okay. Employee ID. Every other fields must be your gray out. So this is what your requirement is all about. So try to complete this requirement. So you have to use a thing called as your call screen and set screen. So I'll just copy this assignment. I'll also keep that in the other group P persons too. Control C. Questions. So assignment 32. Assignment 32. So this is what your assignment is, guys. So try to complete this assignment and come back with me your questions. So that's the end of today's session. Before I signing off for today's session, any other questions? So tomorrow we will be checking your how to work with your check boxes, how to work with your radio buttons, how to work with your tab strips, and how to work with your table control. By that we will be completing your module pool programming, and we will be going into your Oops ABAP. Okay, that's it. We'll meet you tomorrow again and we'll continue the session. Thank you. Thank you all.